Hello, and welcome to my reaction to Dragon Ball Z episode 200, jumping a bit ahead of myself, 215 and 216. Got a bit sidetracked with the last video. I was kind of excited to jump into the fights and making predictions, and I was really struggling to kind of remember what is filler, what isn't filler, how could we have Vegeta versus Goku from so early on, all kinds of things. And I feel like it wasn't really a place to have a discussion. I was more just excitedly rambling my predictions, and I wanted to jump into the next part. But then we kind of got sidetracked, which is tough because I do choose to do these reactions live because 8 out of 10 times it's more fun that way. But it is tough for me to know when do I talk too much and I just keep going. And I think it's tough for me to have conversations with people who have seen things already. And a good example would probably be the koala moment from One Piece. So there was an episode in One Piece where a character we were already shown this character and her name, whatever, and then she was brought back later and I didn't immediately recognize her. And people immediately told me, like, didn't you recognize her? Why didn't you recognize her? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my God, I would have recognized her, but so I didn't put 2 and 2 together immediately. Like, it's okay, let me be wrong and give you a little bit of time, because I think when you're watching something for the first time, your brain doesn't connect things as great as it could after having seen it 20 times. But some people immediately click things, and there are times when a character breathes and I know which voice actor it is. So, I mean, sometimes my brain does things that I'm like, okay, what? Wow, okay. But other times I think it's best to maybe hang back for a bit. Give me time, let me be wrong. Either let the story prove me wrong, or, wait for a review part and kind of say, this was your prediction, or this is what you thought, I disagree, because in that episode this was said, or, whatever. We can perfect. This kind of thing is always going to happen. But I just think that more often than not, just give me some time and allow me to be wrong sometimes. I think that's the only thing I can ask. So to summarize, my prediction was that between Kuririn and the genie guy, Kuririn would win. Between Piccolo and this guy, I don't see this guy falling out at the very beginning. So I see him going through. Between Videl and that guy, I'm hoping Videl goes through. Gohan has to beat him. So then that would be a really great fight. Firstly, actually, Kuririn versus him. Shin is gonna win. Videl versus Gohan has to win. Although, no, but he has to win. Yes. And then between these two, if that brother falls out with Videl, I think he's gonna go through. I think Gotrunks will win one round, but eventually be caught out. So they're gonna win against this guy, but not against this guy. I'm predicting, because they will be caught out. They're gonna fall or trip up or something and be disqualified. So then we'll have Gohan going through here. But this is where I'm tripping up. Like, honestly, how I feel is when I look back on after Goku chose to remain, he's not coming back to life. Cell is defeated, his time has moved on. I'm not really sure what after that was filler and movies and canon and this and that. I mean, I know it's Goku. I know he wouldn't have sat still, but I also don't really know what kind of training he did in heaven or past heaven, wherever he was. So I personally, I'm just not sure that he's been training his son, and he's been training hard, and I can't really tell who would be stronger at this point, who had more drive, motivation. To me, he's decided to remain dead, so he's here for fun. At first I thought he would win, but then as you can see, I highlighted it, I made it blue, because maybe Vegeta instead, plus Vegeta versus her, insane fight. I think he's gonna not be able to hit a woman, so she's gonna go through. It would be Vegeta versus that guy, and then Gohan versus Vegeta, but it's really, really tough. I love it because it's so unpredictable, and for that, the show has always, and the Tenkaichi Budokai have always been just exciting and fun, and that's what I'm looking forward to now, is that excitement and fun that I used to feel in Dragon Ball, and, because Z has had all these, the world was a danger, not even just the world, the universe to some extent, like with Frieza conquering and destroying planets left, right, and center. It was more than the world being at stake. With Cell, even, you know, the stakes were high. Right now, it's Tenkaichi Budokai fun. There are some bad guys who seem to be a little bit more on the serious side, but at the same time, it's more leaning towards, you know, just that kind of like hype from Dragon Ball. Okay, so, and not that I'm not saying the other things were not hype, but it just seems like less serious things at stake. I'm saying it wrong, but whatever, I'm not gonna overthink it. Let's go.
Piccolo-san, なんであんなに緊張してるんだろう。
I can't get over his freaking hair. Please just shave your head. You're fighting, aren't you?
回戦からベジータだもんな。今からワクワクすんぜ。ん？ピッコロ。あいつもずいぶん燃えてるな。お前もさ、相手は一応世界チャンピオンなんだから、ちょっとやれよ。うるさいな。
See, that's what someone should have told Trunks beforehand, but...
心配ないさ。ビーデルに勝てるのはミスター・サタンぐらいのもんだからな。
あら、グレートサイヤマンがいる。
あんなダセえやつ、一回戦も勝てるかどうかわからないぜ。
大人の部もベジータが優勝して、親子で天下一武道会制覇ね。そりゃ無理だべ。相手がオラの悟空さだ。ベジータなんて優勝どころか1回戦で負けだべ。あら、トランクスだってゴテン君に勝ったんですから。お日様が西から登ったって悟空さが負けることはねえだ。
Don't set flags like that! Exactly, exactly, exactly! Does he though? Does he know that?
おいおい、やめろよ、二人とも。
If, and it's not impossible. No, wait, I can't see. I don't think it's impossible for Vegeta to beat Goku at this kind of thing. Goku lost to Tenshin Han before, after all. Luck plays a big role, and then lots of things. It's not just luck. It's kind of like you know, in that moment, anything can happen. Don't get cocky, because the moment you get cocky, that's when. So I can see, but I can't see Vegeta defeating Gohan right now. Even more than I can't really see Vegeta beat Goku, but I can believe that it's possible, even if I can't see it happen in my head. But I can believe that it's possible in this kind of competition. It's not life or death, after all. In fact, Goku is dead. That's the thing. I think it makes a difference to me. What I wanted to say was, and it won't happen, but imagine if the son won the junior division and the dad, like what a turnaround that would be for Vegeta as a character. Like for that reason alone, I feel like, no, but Toriyama wouldn't. He wouldn't give Vegeta that many wins in a row. It's just too much. I don't know, anything can happen. You son of a... Oh my goodness. I was laughing at something. Goku be like, Vegeta's gonna kill me. But I'm already dead. Yo! Wait, wrong anime. Oh, small Lucy-chan. I have decided. Lucy. Oh my god, she's in a bikini. I saw this blonde hair here and I was like, lunch, no. Yeah, bro, she wasn't even staring at her. But he had his glasses on, but he was looking like this. Like, he actually had already passed out at that point. That's why he was sitting so still. Yeah, tire yourself out. That's gonna work. Fast and nimble.
分かった分かった。逃げない逃げない。
さあどうした？遠慮するね。さあ、せー。よ。
With his hand in his pocket. Wow. bad. Not the bad brush hit. And I do really say brush hit in a nice way. In like how Vash is broom hit. Yeah, look cool for it for now. This is the same kid or the same guy that was excited that the Goten and the Trunks weren't allowed to compete in this round.
待ってましたよ。天下一武道会はこうでなくっちゃ。
ちょろいもんさ。コロ、次はお前の番だぜ。頑張れよ。なんだよみんな。いいよトランクスくん、僕にもちょうだいよ。ダメだ、バレちゃうだろ。だってこの中熱くてかなわないんだよ。わかった。
続いて第2試合です。マジュニア選手権を行います。
なるほど。これは楽しそうな大会ですね。
それでは両選手どうぞ。
Yeah, of course you would remember that.
今回は会場を壊さないでね。
なんだよ。あの神経。
Read the room, Kuririn. Read the room.
やっとわかるぞ。さっぱり見当もつかなかったあいつの戦闘。さあ、では第2試合です。始めてください。力が入らない。
Why? Is it a trick? Toriku da! Toriku! I meant to say a technique, like he's doing something. And then I went full Satan.
どうしたこいつとはなぜか戦いにくい。初めて会ったやつなのに。
Toriku da!
どうしたんだ？なんで戦わないんだよ。
Except Satan Sama's teaching. Suddenly it feels hot. Whoa. Mesmerizing.
バカな。
一体どうしたんだピッコロさん。
発明。何者なのだ。
そのうちわかりますよ。そのうちわかります。でも今はゲームを楽しみましょう。
What happened? So, but from everyone else's perspective, they just stood there this whole time, right?
すまない。危険する。危険って戦わないんですか？そうだ。
そうか。彼は元この星の神。なんとなく私のことを感づき始めているの。
バジュニア選手は棄権しましたので、新選手の選勝となりました。
He used to be Kami, so somehow that links to him sensing. Kuromi rolled, but I don't think I have a claim. How does him having been Kami link to? Wait and see.
そんなになんかピッコロ。
ああ、次元が違いすぎる。
Dimensions.
ではどんどん行きましょう。ビーデル選手対スポポビッチ選手です。
I'm still trying to like wrap my head around what just happened. He was like glowing like the sun, and it is out of my. Okay, I have to. And he said the game.
でも今はゲームを楽しみましょう。
This reaction. It's so like dramatic.
どうしたんです
He
か？
used to be the kami.
すまない。危険する。危険って戦わないんですか？そうだ。
彼は元この星の神。
See, this is the key. That's the key. He used to be the kami over this planet. Perhaps he has already begun to sense who it is I am. Whoo!
私のことを。
ジュニア選手は棄権しましたので、新選手の選勝となりました。
I was hoping I could figure something out. Like,
あ
our dimension. That's another key. What the hell does that mean? Big Mom rolled. Why are these great characters rolling now, right in the middle of this type. I want to close my phone because I don't have a claim anyway.
すごい人気なんだね。頑張ってビーデルさん。
This guy's overdoped or something.
お前の番だぞ。出るのか。時間だ。
ごはんくん
I feel like that has something to do with the M on his forehead. Cause what the hell is that? But the only reason the M even stands out to me is because it's someone on my Patreon's profile picture. So now I notice the M and I think, okay, it might be linked to that, but I shouldn't even think that because at this point it shouldn't stand out to me, but it does. Plus, why, because that M is on someone else's forehead in the picture and I can't help that my brain is now thinking about that. Why is that so funny?
ビーデル選手は7年前の全大会では小さな少女でありながら少年の部で優勝した実績を誇ります。超人気のビーデル登場で最高潮を迎える天下一武道会。真の正体は一体何者か。
Yeah, what's the meaning behind his gaze? What? I feel like it's one of those things that we were talking about earlier. How you should be allowed to share your opinion, but choose the time and the place. Think, right? In the same way, you should be allowed to have any profile picture that you want. But if you choose to comment on like my Patreon often or even my YouTube, although I really make a point not to look at YouTube comments especially because I don't have to look at the pictures. I try and focus elsewhere. You know what I really think my content is lacking is arc reviews. I always wanted to do arc reviews after each arc. And then would be the best time to bring up all the theories, all the questions, all the everything. But the show is so exciting. Like, once you finish one, you're so excited for the next one. It's like there's not... I should have had more weekends where I pause. No reactions, just an arc review. So that's really what I should have... One Piece arc reviews slapped. I think as much as... You probably won't believe it because I still talk a crap load. I used to talk more and I stopped because people are in a rush always to get to the next thing and say the next thing and argue about the next thing. And so I tried to like just focus on moving forward and having as much fun as I could, which like I said, it is true that after each arc I'm so excited to see what's next. But I should have kept things more slow, more... I do love arguing on the next thing, says Nox. It's a good thing that the show makes you feel excited to see more. Yeah, but the problem with binging too fast is that you don't have time to soak in the details, which, if you're missing details later on, could come to bite you in your ass. So there's a very precarious balance to be met. But it doesn't, in the bigger scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Because you can always watch it 100 times, you know, and see different things each time. But reactions, the first time reaction only happens once. So you have to do it right. Why is he looking at him like that? Is it something with the M? Because what else could it be, really? Okay, I'm going to stop talking about the M now. It's hot. My face is hot. Maybe he's part of the anti-doping organization? I want to know, what does it mean he's in a different dimension? They both have elf ears. Wait, I don't remember what Piccolo has elf ears. Yes, he has elf ears. One is green, one is purple. Maybe he's like a type of, like a subspecies of, what kind of species? Namekian. Maybe he's like a subspecies of... No, but he didn't say anything about his species. He said the kami of this planet. And the other one's pink! girlfriend. This guy's not okay. But she can handle him.
何でしょうか。
なんでしょう。
間違っているかまたまさか
Who?
大海王様では。
違いますよ。
大海王などではない。海王神様だ。はっ
The fuck's that?
海王神。
Northwest, southeast, Daikayo. But once again, I don't know. Was that filler? Was that in a movie? I honestly don't remember exactly where it fits in. It all blurs together. I know the Budokai the Budokai up there was filler. But I don't know if the Daikai was filler. But what the hell is the Kaioshin? Is it above like Daikai? I don't know. At this point, it doesn't mean anything to me except that he's shocked.
海王神様。4人の海王様の頂点に立つ大海王様。
So this is the Dai Daikai.
さらにその上に海王様たちの神がいるという噂を聞いたことがあった。どうりで次元が違いすぎるはずだ。
どうしたピッコロ。
I like the ideas. I like the idea of a Kai of each direction, but I feel like the Daikai was then wasted on like kind of filler content, and now suddenly there's a Daikai. I feel like the Daikai should have been removed, and then just he should have been the Daikai. Cause how can you have a Daikai? I don't know. We'll see. But I'm just giving my first impression. Like I definitely will change my opinion. But at this point, it just feels like a little bit like.
何も言うな。頼む。何も言うな。いいな。あの少年が海王神様。わしでさえお会いしたこともないのにだ。カウントを取ります。
Next thing you know, there's gonna be a Daikai. And then, like, I just feel like, if... Because he's the ruler over those 4, so what? He's the ruler over those 5, and then there's a ruler over those 6, and then... Ah, whatever. Wait, red hair? I think I was still thinking about the Daikai. I have an idea in my head.
低レベルな戦いだ。またまた決まった。格闘の天才少女です。
But to be fair, her dad is also good against regular humans. Like, I feel like I could imagine Satan-sama beat this guy in his heyday. He's just gotten really lazy. Someone, do they not test their pee or something? So this is how at this point in time, I don't really like the idea of a Kai, like a Supreme Kai apparently is the English translation, Kaioshin, because I feel like we barely got to see the 4 of them and then the grand one, like the one above the 4. Like Kai-O used to be our Kai-O, the blue one. He used to be like the guy. Okay, then we find out there's 4. Then we find out there's one above, and now suddenly there's one above the above. So, like, I don't really like you can just keep adding before even utilizing the other characters properly. Because I was like, okay, so they're fillery characters. That's fine. But now, they're fillery and funny, but now there's another one and he's serious. So, I'm not really fully loving the development at this point. But I can make it make sense in my head. Kind of like You know Dunder Mifflin from, what is it called? Dunder Mifflin from The Office. So you had Michael and you had the regional managers, right? Or something. You had Michael and blah, 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 blah. And then you had Jan, right? And she would go to each one, but to make sure that they're all running smoothly. But then you get, you know, the CEO, the owner of the company, and he doesn't have time to go check on all of them. But he manages the people in the branch. She manages the branch managers, and then there's the CEO. So I guess it's kind of like that. And don't forget the assistant to the regional manager. You mean the assistant regional manager. So I guess that's how I would make it make sense, but I still don't really like it because I feel like these characters were set up to be kind of like a joke. You know, the other four. Plus the Grand Kai, and now we have a Supreme one that is more relevant again to the story. But I'll get used to it and then... I love that they're sharing a look! That really shows how, you know, they're on the same team now, sort of, even though he doesn't nod. But he's looking. They know. Whoa! Videl! 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 Or, I mean, Videru! Videru! Wow! You have to count, my guy. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. You see, that's why you count, my guy. Still, he's making rookie mistakes.
気合を危険した方がいい。あいつなんか変だ。変って今はビーデルの方が優勢なんだぜ。
He's doping! It's not fair! Oh, but she can fly! You can do it! Hit him, knock him out! You've knocked him back and he keeps getting up. So all you need to do is knock him out of the ring. He can't look away, his brother can fly, so maybe. But he kept falling. Just knock him out! Knock him out!
やっぱあのスポポビッチってやつ変だ。
Spopovitch. More like Spopovitch. Get him!
へっちゃらすぎるし正規そのもの
Kick
が
him
感じられる。
out!
正規そのものってどういう
Wait, what did he say? He should have taken all that damage up until now.
へっちゃらすぎ
Yet he ain't bothered by it. And I can't feel any life's key. So basically like a corpse that's being controlled. That's why he can keep getting up.
ポポビッチは前の大会でこのわしが第1回戦で倒したやつだ。はるかに上だ。演出だ、演出。ビーデルめ。
Oh my god. Oh, he's like a Frankenstein or something. Frankenstein's monster. It's nothing but a scratch. No! Shit happens.
皆さん
People have like died on... He's not dead though. Of course, we know. There's no life key in him to die. But for real though, a lot of accidents have happened in even non-contact sports. Like you could be golfing one day and a golf ball can just knock you on the head and then you're done. That shit terrifies me.
悲惨な結末となってしまいます。本大会ルールによりビーデル選手は資格
Walk it off. Walk it off. Gomu Gomu no ningen. Desho? Oh no. Oh, she's so shooketh now. He should have Luffy's voice. Yeah, just give Luffy's VA another role and be like, 大丈夫, Gomu da. Gomu da kara.
悟空の言う通りだ。もう降参した方がいい。絶対普通じゃないぜ、あの野郎。
おっとビーデル選手また飛んだ
He can fly.
君は空も
No! Narrator, no! What a cliffhanger!
ビーデルはどう戦う
Gomu Gomu no Mi model Spopovitch. Ah, what a cliffhanger. Oh, this one. Poor Videl. Why not make it a 3-episode stream, right? No. That's a good place to stop. It's a tough place to stop, but I feel like this is just the beginning of this Tenkaichi Budokai. Every episode is gonna end like that for a while. And she was just claimed. And I really thought she had this one. But this guy and no life key? No wonder, you know, a Dai Kai was freaked out even by him. Like you unholy. What? How do you know? Garlic, bring some garlic or something. Do you want a confirmation on the Dai Kai being filler or not? You know what? I should read some of the... Because probably, considering the fact that the 4 Kai plus the Dai Kai was mentioned by Piccolo here, means they're not filler, they're canon. But a lot of what happened was filler. I guess I'm gonna have to read it in my own time, but from the moment where Goku decided to stay dead, when Dende was still small and after Cell was defeated, like what happened between that and then Gohan starting school? How many chapters was in between? And that's what I want to know. So then 227, after that part with Trunks, boom, immediately. High school. Herculopolis High. So I would assume after the Cell stuff was resolved and Goku decided to remain dead, all of that stuff was filler, but that doesn't mean the 4 Kai plus the Dai Kai doesn't exist. They do. I feel like they were confirmed by and then it goes on to where this, so yeah. So I think that makes a huge difference for me. And it kind of reinforces the fact that at this point, it's not guaranteed how much stronger Goku had gotten up to this point. How much training he really had done. My wondering about it, my not being sure about it was fair. It was fine to wonder. And it's more interesting to wonder and to not be sure at that point. Because it is a huge thing for Goku versus Vegeta to happen right off the bat. Not really knowing where Goku is with what he's been up to. Like, of course, we all know Goku is not like he's gonna sit and do nothing, but at the same time, we haven't heard a word from him for 7 years, just like the cast hadn't heard a word from him. Vegeta and Goku have always, they're very close in strings. If they weren't, it wouldn't be as interesting. Like, sure, the one always had to step up, and then that one, and then like, so at that point, yeah, I don't think it was like, yeah, Goku's definitely stronger. He's been training with all these amazing people, blah, 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 blah. There's all this stuff being thrown in. Vegeta and Goku were the main thing for me right off the bat, but suddenly we have the Dai Kai. Ooh, okay. Suddenly we have the Dai Kai plus now this doping situation and the mysterious M, that really shouldn't even be that mysterious to me, but at the end of the day, I don't actually know what it means. And at this point, I probably would have noticed it by myself anyway, so it doesn't matter. So Nox says, I thought it was great reasoning. I think DBZ anime fans are too confident in what they think is canon and what is not. Lots of times, they think their version of the anime is the correct one. And that is even dangerous when it comes to different translations, because different translations also change details. So that's why it's quite difficult to, yeah. And you also mentioned the double lines, yeah. I think DBZ power scaling discussions bring out silly sophistry people latch on to weird scenes. Sadly, there is hardly any trivia from these episodes. The lie that Trunks tells Mighty Mask in order to distract him differs in the Japanese and English versions. Trunks deceives Mighty Mask by telling him that a pretty young lady wants to talk with him in the Japanese version, while Trunks tells Mighty Mask that a real scrawny guy wants to beat Mighty Mask at arm wrestling for 1,000 zenny. The change was most likely made to hide Mighty Mask's lechery. Interesting. I consider the fillers and movies canon for me. I don't feel like they have done any harm. Nox says DBZ is ingested in so many unique formats: English, Japanese, manga, kai, and abridged. Each one creates a unique viewing experience. It's bumming when one person's unrelated perception of the source material starts to creep into my reaction. I don't think it's a matter of spoiling in relation to introducing new information, but a matter of spoiling since it's poisoning the well with our perspective. Yeah, that's why I think the Discord is a nice place to talk about these things, because there is a spoiler tag, so you can talk to other fans without necessarily bringing me into it yet. It's a tightrope, and we are all just trying to balance the tightrope. I would have hated if I watched DBZ for the first time and some dude who read the manga kept trying to railroad me. The manga. That happens a lot, because while you're enjoying filler, you also don't need someone pointing out to you, this is filler, this never happened, or this or that. 3 more and we make it to a 12-hour stream. Hey, I still have all of tomorrow to go. So I'll end the video here. I do, as frustrating as it can get, a little overwhelming, I do admire people's passion for DBZ and all its different incarnations, whether it's the Spanish dub, the Esencia, or whatever. I admire the passion, but at this point, maybe it's a bit difficult to cross words. For my first experience, I need to be careful with that. Like, not everyone is worth maybe engaging with right now. But I admire the passion. So it's only a show like DBZ that is as good as it is, that can get people this worked up and passionate and interested. And I think Toriyama always had the right attitude towards these things, because I hear often about him saying like, oh, I forgot about that character. He was so like Maika, kind of like Goku in a sense. So I think we shouldn't, as passionate as we can get and invested, we also should have a healthy dose of Maika. Antonio says, not gonna lie, my favorite episodes from today was Trunks versus Goten. Yeah, that was exciting, because I didn't really know who could win. Like, it wasn't a given for me. And I really love that they even included themselves here with the adults. But my favorite, I like this Lost Videl stuff, because I didn't think it was gonna be this tough. My favorite was when you were speculating until it went sour. Yeah. I was trying to figure things out and like come up with a theory, and like that was fun. I agree. Okay. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna end the video and then a few minutes later end the stream. See you next time for the next 6 or 7 episodes. Bye.